I think that the Buffalo Bills defense is going to come out pretty good, and it's going to be not contain Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle if he plays, but they're going to limit them. That's what the key to the Miami Dolphins. We mentioned that with the New England Patriots, how they did it. I think this offense for the Buffalo Bills is going to come out hot. I think Stephon Diggs is going to be coming out hot. I think we saw what James Cook can do. I think Gabe Davis is getting more involved. I know he only had one catch, but this is going to be a good test for the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, are going to go against the Miami Dolphins. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills as they creep their way back into that best team talk, and they beat the Miami Dolphins 31-27 in Buffalo. Go Bills.
All About the Balls podcast
with Mark Davis, Chris Meinhardt, Luke Rule, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Welcome to All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis in the Sack House with Chris Meinhardt, Luke Rule, and the wonderful Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. We are about to preview Week 4. We're excited. Some of us are nervous about our teams. Chris, I know you're a little nervous because Jameis Winston seems to be the starter as you're about to head into rivalry weekend with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How are you feeling, my friend?
Yeah, Mark, like I said previously in the other cut, that's not going to make it. Pretty nervous going into this week. Jameis Winston, I don't believe he can eat a W. I think he can eat a W against his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going against Baker Mayfield, which he went against last year when they played each other Week 3. Didn't work out too well for the Saints that one either. But hey, he's going to eat W's on Sunday. Promise you that.
Luke, we were talking, like Chris said, the first cut, another division rivalry game for you as the Baltimore Ravens are heading into Cleveland, Ohio to face those hot Browns. How are you feeling going into Week 4?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I think it's going to be a close game, tough game for the Ravens. See a real test for our offense, see how they go against the one of the top defenses in the league. Hopefully we can get a couple of players back and healthy for this game. Not sure. I think Harbaugh might still be playing the cautious game, play the long game for the season. But, yeah. Also, Mark, that's a nice jacket you got on.
Thank you. I like yours too, man. Nice salute to service. Support the troops out there.
Today, NFL officially released the new salute to service jackets. I think they look like shit. So, I'm be rocking my ones from, I think, 2016 or 17, wherever this one's from. But
it's the 2018 one.
NFL, I got a good solution for salute to service jackets. So just hit me up. We get some fucking Whoopie hoodies going on with little NFL logos on them, some teams. I think they'd be a lot better. Get some veterans that actually want to buy these shits instead of these fucking just change the color every year and put some fucking multicam on it.
Get a nice smoker jacket, with like a NFL logo.
We'll be hoodies where it's at. So if people actually go to the field, then Whoopies are. So I don't know the Air Force guys in here know.
And if you want these hoodies, reach out on All About the Balls All About the Balls podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, and we'll hit you up and we'll get Luke involved in there. He'll start hitting you up with these hoodies. Doc, how are you feeling as the Bears?
I had hoodies to sell.
Oh, you're gonna start making them now. Doc, how are you feeling with the Bears and Broncos come? How are you feeling, Doc? Week 4, big game for the Bears.
Yeah, no, going to be a great week. Looking forward to taking another step closer to getting that number 1 overall draft pick. Bears might screw up and actually win. Going up against a pretty loose defense this week, but we'll see if Denver can bring it back together and help us get closer to that draft pick.
Yeah, big weekend for the Falcons. A little nervous. We're playing the London Jaguars. Always a tough place to play out there across the pond when you're playing pretty much the designated London team every single year. But boys, big news right before we came on recording. The New York Jets locker room is in turmoil right now. The defensive side, which is what Coach Robert Saleh coaches, is known for, is losing his locker room due to him sticking with Zach Wilson. Is Robert Saleh on the hot seat right now, literally saving his job as he's trying to coach this year?
Yeah, all offseason, the Jets were just pounded in their mind hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. The Lord and Savior is fucking here. And then, unfortunately, 4 plays later, the Lord fell again, and he did not rise yet. So, it's big when you go from Aaron Rodgers to fucking Zach Wilson that can't do shit offensively. So,
well, guest speaker.
Yeah, we had a guest speaker in the house. Yeah,
yeah.
He's
so
agreeing with you, Luke or Chris. That dog's agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's hard going from a quarterback that is going to lead you to the promised land to a quarterback that's going to lead you to a top 5 draft pick. And these guys want to win now. They've been told all offseason they're going to win now. And then you go and now you're battling for the number 1 spot in the draft next year. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, you go ahead, Doc.
No, Chris nailed that right in the head, especially, the quarterback situation coming in here and expecting to be competing and fighting for something. But, Jets defense is getting visibly upset here, but honestly, I don't think they have much room to talk. I mean, this Jets defense isn't coming out here and playing anything special. I mean, they're not exactly holding it down on defense, giving up 130 yards a game on the ground. I mean, you ain't playing normal Dallas Cowboys type defense or 49er defense to be coming out here with all the hype around you guys talking about the offense and Robert Saleh. But I think Robert Saleh does need to focus up and figure out what the offense needs to do. I mean, there really isn't much that you can do with Zach Wilson, but, the organization's got to find another guy who can come in and do it. But Jets got to get something going here. I mean, 90 yards a game rushing is not okay, and 155. This is one of the only teams, if not the only team in the NFL, that's actually performing worse offensively than the Bears. You know how hard that is to do?
Well, I mean, it's different. Yeah, no, it's different when a defense is on the field 90% of the game, when Zach Wilson's turning the ball over drive after drive, and the defense is constantly on the field. I mean, look at Dallas. Dallas is getting turnovers for their offense, and Tony Pollard's running. 49ers, I mean, Brock Purdy's staying on the field, so their offenses are staying on the field. The fucking Jets, the defense is staying on the field.
And also the defense, the defense might be giving up rushing yards, but they're not giving up a whole lot of points. They give up 15 to the Patriots and 16 to the Bills. Yes, 30 points to the Dallas Cowboys, but 2 to 3 weeks have been better. So it's not really. I wouldn't say they're more of a bend but don't break type defense, and that's what it's been. And I'm on the defensive side on this one. I mean, you need to make a move. I mean, we saw what Robert Saleh or what Zach Wilson's done the last couple of years. He's not the guy. Joe Namath said it himself. Ship him out of here. Get rid of him. He's not the answer. You're wasting the season, literally wasting the season. His stats are similar to Jamarcus Russell through the first handful of starts they both had. And Jamarcus Russell, we've called the biggest bust in NFL history. So
he was
I agree. The defense. I mean, he wasn't even the best quarterback on his team when they won the championship. Matt Flynn was, but
he won the championship though.
He was part of that championship run. I'll give that to him. But no, back to that though. It's just we've seen what Zach Wilson is. He's not the guy. He's not the answer. You're wasting the defense. You're wasting the offensive players you have around. I get it. They're not the guy that you bring in is not going to be Aaron Rodgers, but he's sure going to be good enough to at least get this team afloat and be in the wild card hunt.
But that's why I don't think you can put it on Robert Saleh. I mean, this isn't. You're not talking about having a proven franchise quarterback in here trying to win. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's good enough to be a third string or really a practice squad quarterback on probably 31 other NFL teams. So, I mean, you can't have the expectation this team is going to compete for a championship with Zach Wilson calling the shot or, calling plays. It's just not going to work out.
No, it's 100% on Saleh. Saleh is the one that is backing Zach Wilson game after fucking embarrassing loss. After every embarrassing loss, he goes in the press conference and says, this team is still Zach Wilson's team. We trust him. Nobody fucking trusts him.
And what else is he going to say if the ownership in the front office isn't going to get him a better quarterback? What's Saleh going to do? Come out here and you know what, guys, fans, I'm sorry, man. We know you deserve better. We want better. The guys upstairs won't give it to us. So, hey, this is just where we're at. I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do as a coach and backing his guys up.
Yeah, that's a quick way to get really on the hot seat. You start coming at the fucking owners.
He's doing what he's supposed to do as a coach and backing up his guys.
Have a backbone and go tell upper management that we need a QB. I guarantee he hasn't said that. I guarantee he hasn't said that.
I'm not saying he has or hasn't, but he's not coming out on the mic in a press conference and shitting on his own quarterback. Because it ain't gonna play any better. I don't think anything's gonna
on the team currently.
Well, his team is shitting on him right now. That's what it seems like. So if they give up on him, then he's going to be out the door very quick. That's just the way it works in the NFL.
And they're clearly
Robert ain't going to do that.
They're clearly trying to make a move for a quarterback. I mean, they signed Trevor Siemian to the practice squad, but why Trevor Siemian? I mean, there's so many better options out there than fucking him.
Because if you bring Trevor Siemian, he makes Zach Wilson look better and makes Robert look better with the decision.
I don't think there's another quarterback that they can just plug and play right now that'll do better like this week than Zach Wilson will do. Maybe some guy that a few weeks down the road, but they're gonna have to ride with Zach Wilson for at least a few more weeks until they can find somebody and get them fucking in the playbook and ready to play. They're not going to go to the team one day and win a game like Baker Mayfield did.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if they stick with Zach Wilson, they're going to win probably 3 games at the most, and they're going to be competing for a top 5, top 7 draft pick. And hopefully, Aaron Rodgers comes back for 2 more years instead of 1 more year.
There's some good QBs in the draft too. So
they're not going to draft a QB.
Terrible idea.
They will not draft a QB if Rodgers comes back. They should be smart and draft offensive. They should draft O-line right away for the first pick. If they're smart, they're not going to draft a QB and let Aaron Rodgers get smacked around for another year and then potentially break another leg.
Get smacked around.
Then they're going to be in a then they'll be in a shit situation for
coach up the next QB of the future.
Then you're wasting because that QB's not even going to be ready enough to take this team. It's going to be the same situation they're in. They're not the QB won't be ready.
Doing just fine.
Patrick Mahomes didn't take it after 1 full season.
After 1 season, not his rookie season.
Okay,
he's talking about letting Rodgers get hurt next year and then let him coach on the sideline again. That's what he just said.
I'm saying Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's
saying
going
to
to
take a quarterback. He didn't say let Aaron Rodgers get hurt. Not going offensive line doesn't mean he's saying let Aaron Rodgers get hurt. I think go quarterback's a great move for him. Go quarterback because you got a guy that's going to learn behind Rodgers, just like Jordan Love did. And you got a guy. You're looking at the future. You go with an offensive lineman. I mean,
they're in win now mode.
For the Jets have.
They're in win now mode.
Win now mode. No, they're not this year. They're not.
They don't have more than one. They need offensive line.
This team's only capable of winning next year. We're not going to bother investing in a future quarterback because we can only win next year when Rodgers comes back, right?
You can invest in a QB in a couple of years too, can't you?
And then do what when Rodgers plays one more season? Get him starting day one and hope. I mean that's worse. That's worse than drafting one and getting him for a year to learn.
They got to go quarterback.
And first off, let's pause on Jordan Love talk. He's not looking that hot. Yeah, he has 2 wins, but his completion percentage is 52%. It's not that high. So, yeah, did he make a good comeback against the Saints? Yeah, give it to him. Did he also play against the backup QB and that quarterback couldn't get points? Yeah, so good for him. He also allowed a 12-point comeback against him the week before. So let's not rave on Jordan Love at this exact moment that he's just lighting up the charts because he's not. He looks average.
Yeah, no, you're right. Jordan Love was on defense giving up those points.
Why wasn't he scoring?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, I mean, it works both ways, doesn't it? You should also score so the defense doesn't have to.
Why didn't the Falcons score more than 6 last week?
I didn't say we were good. I'm hyping up Desmond Ridder, am I? So I don't know. I think they should draft offensive line if they're going to do it because Rodgers in win now mode, not sit here and draft a QB and develop him for another 3 years because it's what you want him to do. You want him to develop a QB for 2-3 years like he did with Favre and then what he's doing with Jordan Love. So I think it'd be a bad decision to draft a QB right away, especially with that offensive line sucks.
We'll talk about that in the offseason.
Yeah, let's move on. It's time for the preview week 4 of this NFL season. Doc, you will be going first since you had the best week last week. You were 11-5 straight up with a 10-6 spread. You are 29-19 on the year. Spread 25-22-1. Luke and myself went 10-6 last week. Luke went 9-7 against the spread. So Luke's 32-16 for the year straight up and 30-18 against the spread. I went 11-5 against the spread. I'm 25-19 straight up and 26-21-1 against the spread. And Chris bringing up the rear, 8-8 straight up.
Yeah.
Picking
But a 9-7.
hard too much.
Hey, too many underdogs I'm picking.
9-7 against the spread. Chris, you are a whopping 25-23 straight up and a 20-27-1 against the spread for the year.
Hey,
so
I'm above 500. Above 500. That's all that matters.
Little change this week. Doc, Luke, myself, then Chris. That'll be the new order. We're going to go based on the week performance. Kind of like golf, T-box honors if you have to keep time. But Doc, first game of the week. You're going to start us off here once again. NFC North battle. Winner will be in first place after 4 weeks. The 2-1 Detroit Lions coming off a 20-6 win over the Falcons at home are 1.5-point favorites at Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. We just mentioned had a comeback. They're down 17-0 against the New Orleans Saints. What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking it's kind of a kick in the nuts to give Detroit only 1.5-point favorite. I mean, Jared Goff has been a lot of fun to watch this year. The pass offense for the Lions has been superb. Run game's been going well. Montgomery's probably going to be out again, so looking for Jahmyr Gibbs to get another opportunity to break out and show that he's ready to take over this offense. Defensively, still some concerns through the air, but when I match that up with Jordan Love, I think this is where the Lions come out looking like rock stars on defense. So Rush defense has been phenomenal for them. Packers on the other side. I haven't really seen much of a run offense from them consistently. Jordan Love, we talked about, you hit on a little bit earlier with the completion percentage. I don't think that Jordan Love is I'm not hyped up on Jordan Love, but I think that the time that he spent behind Aaron Rodgers made him a much better quarterback than what he would have been. So I'm going to go with the Lions on this one. I'm going to say 24-19. I got him beating the spread or covering the spread.
Yeah. So I'm going with Doc on this one. I'm going Lions, but I'm got the spread a little bit higher, so I'm going to go 24-17. Very close to Doc's. I think Lions are overall a better team, more put together. I have more faith in Jared Goff to win this game with his receivers. I don't know if they said Aaron Jones will be back or not this week, but liking Jahmyr Gibbs, liking Aaron Jones and the Lions away and Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I'm with you, boys. I just think that the Detroit Lions, I think both defenses are going to be pretty good this game. We've seen both of them actually play pretty good these 3 weeks. I know the Packers had that kind of hiccup in the fourth quarter against Atlanta, but they looked pretty decent against the Saints. They looked good against the Bears. The Lions have looked good all year on defense, minus the Seahawks game that was a shootout, but the Seahawks we respect on offense. But I think that having Jahmyr Gibbs, he got some more rhythm last week, looked pretty good. As a starting running back, Montgomery should probably still be out. We do think Jared Goff's better than Jordan Love, and I think that's going to be the point. This is also Jordan Love's first primetime start, at least as the main guy. I don't know what happened in the first year. He had one start a couple years ago, but this is his first primetime start as the main guy. So I think he's going to fall just short. I think he's going to fall 24-20. Give me Detroit at Lambeau Field to be in first place after 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wins this game is probably going to win the division. I mean, out of these two games, or these two teams is the division winner. I mean, the Bears and the Vikings aren't going to compete. The Packers are a hard team to figure out right now. They blew a lead against the Falcons. They did come back on the Saints, but I mean, Jordan Love looked atrocious the first half, 7 for 17, just couldn't get it going, and then finally realized that, hey, there's a rookie corner out there. Let me just lob it to fucking him. So, I mean, I don't think the Packers can stop Jared Goff. Jared Goff is 4-2 against the Packers right now, 10 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. So, I mean, he knows how to pick apart the Packers defense. I have Lions going 24-17.
And this will be a good test because the Lions offense hasn't been really like that impressive. I know they looked good against the Seahawks, but the Chiefs and the Falcons, they were a little sluggish. So this is going to be a good test to see what this offense really is just a couple weeks before Jameson Williams is back too. So, all right, Doc, next game, you're going to start us off here once again. The Atlanta Falcons coming off that 2-touchdown loss against the Detroit Lions are 3-point underdogs heading across the pond to face the London Jaguars, also known as the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are coming off back-to-back losses. You know, we mentioned how we felt about them yesterday, but they are 3-point favorites across the pond.
Yeah, this is a hard one for me because I'm not happy with the Jags and what they've been doing. I'm very, very low on this team, but when I look at the competition, the pass offense that they're going, and that's where the weakness for the Jags right now is that pass defense, and Desmond Ridder just has shown that he does not have what it takes to step up and go against another team through the air. Run game, obviously, better for the Falcons, but ETN, I think, is still doing a great job for the Jags, and with the Falcons defense giving a little bit more on the rushing side of things. Looking for ETN to break out and have a big game this week. But like you said, the Jaguars in London are a completely different beast. So, is this the game that the Jags break out in this year? Is this the game that they break out and get back on track and get back in the right direction? So, I know what I said about the Jags in the last episode. I still feel very strongly about that, but the matchup that they're facing in London, I got to take the Jags covering the spread. I'm going to say 26-17. I think they get ahead early, and I think a little bit of fight late from the Falcons, but that lack of passing ability and being able to stay in it from Desmond Ridder, I think, is going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, so I mean, Jaguars. This is a different team when they're playing in London. I think this is the Jaguars get right game. I think they're going to get back on track. They're going to start airing it out a little more to their. I mean, they have good wide receivers, good running back. Quarterback play is going to be better out of T-Law. So I'm going to go Jags 24-13.
We're also forgetting, boys, that this is the first matchup of former Atlanta Falcon Calvin Ridley versus his team. So, a little bit of history there with the two.
Big game.
I expect a big game from Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence. I think they take off. They show some of that chemistry they had week one. I agree with you, Doc, too. I think Travis Etienne's going to have a pretty decent game. I honestly think he's going to have over 100 yards and probably a touchdown. So if you're starting in fantasy,
boy, would that be
nice.
nice.
I really think he does. Our defense has been pretty good this year against the air. Rush defense is towards the middle of the pack. So, I think we got some yards passing, but I think our running attack gets back in the form. Didn't look too impressive last week, but I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are too loaded, and this is also across the pond, like you mentioned. So I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars 27-20.
We should have called this part of this segment of the show Ridley's bets or something. If you're Calvin Ridley, who you betting on?
Yeah. I think the big thing that y'all are missing is that this is the London game, so we have football literally all fucking day long. Okay, from 8 a.m. in the morning to fucking
6 a.m.
6 a.m. for some. Yeah, literally first thing in the morning till fucking late at night. And I don't know about you boys, I'm tuning in to fucking Toy Story. I'm gonna see Woody run.
Yes, yes, sir.
But listen. It's simple. Game plan for Jacksonville, right? Stop the run. The Falcons' first two wins, they were averaging 170.5 rushing yards, and they won. The loss that they had last week, they only put 44 rushing yards up. You have to stop the run, and if they stop the run, which I see Jacksonville capable of, they're going to demolish the Falcons. Desmond Ridder cannot pass. He does not have the passing protection there. He does have the weapons, but I don't know what's wrong with Ridder. But I don't think he's going to come up big with the passing game. I have the Jags 27-14.
Our rush defense has been superb.
And Doc, you mentioned the Ridley's bets. What was funny was the game he got in trouble for. One of the parlays was he bet the Falcons against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rules are probably reversed this time.
Oh, I think so. I think he's logging on to FanDuel as we speak, and he's getting ready to load up on the Jags this week in London.
But, boys, I think this is the game of the week. It's the third game we're going to break down. We have the 3-0 Miami Dolphins coming off that 70 to 20-point lead, traveling to Buffalo to face arch rival, the Buffalo Bills, who are 2.5-point favorites, coming off a hot win against the Commanders. Something's got to give here, boys. Do the Buffalo Bills creep their way back into the AFC best talk, or do the Dolphins stay hot, Doc?
Honestly, I think it's got potential to be a little bit of both. I think Miami can still look hot without winning this game. I think Buffalo can still look good and be talks for the top of the AFC, even with a loss. Both teams electric offensively. The rushing game on both sides is going to be huge. The defense a little bit better against the rush for Buffalo. So it'll be interesting to see A-Chain match that energy coming into this game. Mostert, James Cook has been doing a phenomenal job up there in Buffalo. Josh Allen, I don't know how that guy is so mobile with that frame. It's unbelievable. What was it, the game? What game? Who the hell did they play? He went over the top. Was it the Raiders? Yeah, when he played the Raiders and went over the top of his old teammate and laughing, getting up, tried to hurdle over the top of him. So, Tua's got to come out. He's playing against a good Buffalo defense. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if the Dolphins can match the energy that they put out there. The total yards, obviously, the run game at least, the rushing yards per game at least a little inflated after last week, but I think it's going to make for a very interesting game. This is definitely, in my opinion, I agree with you, the game of the week, and looking forward to it. But what was the spread on it?
2.5. Buffalo Bills favorite.
Buffalo 2.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go Miami covering the spread on this one. I'm gonna take Miami. I think it's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna go 27-24 in favor of the visiting Dolphins.
What you thinking, Luke?
Yeah. So I think I'm going the opposite way. I'm taking the Bills at home. I don't think the Dolphins are going to travel well up to Buffalo. Buffalo's going to be fucking wild. I mean, fan base going to be crazy. Not sure what the temperature is going to be. Not sure if it's cool
that
there
frigid
yet.
September temperature.
Oh, it might be getting a little chilly up in Buffalo.
Right now, the temperature is projected to be around 62 degrees.
That's cold for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's
cold
chilly
game
for the
Dolphins.
Yeah, they might be flopping. They might be a fish out of water there.
So I think I'm taking Bills at home. I think this game's gonna be not. I think it's gonna be high scoring, but not as high scoring as we've seen from the Dolphins. So I'm gonna go 34-28 Bills.
Yeah, Luke, I agree with you about the high. It's not going to be as high scoring as we think, but I think it's going to be an excellent game. I think that the Buffalo Bills defense is going to come out pretty good, and it's going to be not contain Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle if he plays, but they're going to limit them. That's what the key to the Miami Dolphins. We mentioned that with the New England Patriots, how they did it. I think this offense for the Buffalo Bills is going to come out hot. I think Stephon Diggs is going to be coming out hot. I think we saw what James Cook can do. I think Gabe Davis is getting more involved. I know he only had one catch, but this is going to be a good test for the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, are going to go against the Miami Dolphins. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills as they creep their way back into that best team talk, and they beat the Miami Dolphins 31-27 in Buffalo. Go Bills.
Yeah, I mean, this is big. I mean, this is the 11th time in NFL history that two teams are facing each other and coming off a 34-point win or more. So, I mean, both teams coming off a big win. So, Miami has the highest scoring offense right now. Bills defense, second fewest points through 3 weeks. So I'm going to roll. And Allen's last 10 games against the Dolphins, including a playoff game, 9-1. Allen owns the Miami franchise. So I'm rolling with the Bills 34-31. Also, shout out Paige. I told her I'd shout her out because she whooped my ass in pick'ems this week. That I'll shout out her. I'll shout out her picks that are different than mine. She's going Dolphins.
She probably won some money this week.
She was close.
Hey,
she was very close.
Yeah, she was very close.
Doc, your lone survivor, lone guy on the Miami Dolphins. Moving on to,
I'm fine with that.
It should be on prime time for Thursday because how shitty it's going to be. The toilet bowl game of the week. The Denver Broncos coming off that 50-point loss, 3.5-point favorites in the Windy City, Chicago, facing Justin Fields and the Bears. Doc, lead us off.
Yeah, Broncos. This isn't even close. It's Broncos is going to be the pick to go with here. Russell Wilson has been looking a lot better this year than we've seen in the last couple of years since his arrival in Denver. Looking to keep that going against this Swiss cheese defense. This block of Swiss cheese the Bears call their passing defense. But the Bears still dealing with a lot of key injuries on defense. 3 huge pieces questionable this week that were out last week and possibly out this week as well. Cornerbacks Tyreek Stevenson and Jalen Johnson, of course, the safety Eddie Jackson. I mean, it's hard to really be, a solid defense when you're missing those 3 guys in the secondary. So I think the Bears they got to figure something out to go offensively and until they figure out defense. So I'm going to take the Broncos covering the spread. You said 3.5?
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. I'm gonna go Broncos 27-17. 27-17. 27-20. 27-20.
Yeah, this one for me can go either way. Both defenses showed they can't stop anything at all. So I mean, points will be scored this game on both ends. So I think still a fairly low scoring game. I'm gonna go 17-14. This one's a swing for me. It can go either way. But I think we'll ride. We'll go Broncos. That one may change as the game gets closer for me though.
How in the hell do you come out here saying the defenses can't? The points will be scored, and then I'm going to go 17-14. What?
There's points.
There's points on the board.
Points will be scored in this game. I'm going to go Denver 9-6.
Hey, that's more points than the Bears scored last week, and just 3 points less than the Broncos scored last week. So, but no, I agree. I agree that this is a back and forth game, and this could change when we do our pick'ems for ESPN Sunday morning. It could change. I mean, I could wake up and just change it, but I swung to the way team here. I am going to go Denver Broncos. A little higher scoring than you, Luke. I'm going to go 24-20. I think the Broncos defense is better than what they've shown the last 2 weeks. So the second half against the Commanders and then last week against the Miami Dolphins, which they're the Dolphins, so we understand that a little bit. But I think the Broncos defense gets back on track a little bit just because Justin Fields does not look comfortable as a quarterback in the pocket. Give me Broncos 24-20. Let's ride.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are shit. The Bears are shit. The Broncos are just less shit. So I have the Broncos having a higher score on the scoreboard at the end of the game. And Mark, you know what that means. Broncos win 27-21.
Man. Moving on to Lamar Jackson in this offense with Todd Monken. Let's see if they get back on track as they are 2.5-point underdogs heading to the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson found his game last week. Doc, something's got to give. Who goes 3-1 in the AFC North? The Browns or the Ravens?
Yeah, I think that Lamar Jackson's going to have a pretty tough test this week. I think that Cleveland's going to come in 188 yards against on defense. I mean, easily the top defense in the league right now when you talk about pure numbers. I know the Cowboys aren't playing that well. 52 yards against in the run game every week. So, we'll see what they do against this, a mobile quarterback like Lamar Jackson, but without having a true, true number 2 running back as Lamar is playing, to back him up in the backfield. And, that 52 yards a game might only get better for Cleveland this week. So the passing game, the defense is also superb, and that matches up with a low passing offense from the Ravens so far this season. I initially, with my gut, wanted to go Baltimore, but sorry, Luke. I'm going to turn the tides, and I'm going to go Cleveland, let's say 28-19.
Yeah, so definitely not picking against the Ravens on this week. I think Deshaun Watson's going to go back to week 1, week 2. Deshaun Watson, not week 3. I think he's going to struggle against a better defense this week. Hopefully, we get a couple of our starters back. I think it's going to be most of them be game time decision. So could sway, but not going to sway my decision. I think it's going to be a very, very close game, as all AFC North games are. I think it's going to be 22-21 Ravens game-winning field goal at the end.
Sorry, what was the score again? I'm sorry, Luke.
21.
22-21, you said.
Gotcha. No, Doc, you hit I think you hit the head on the whatever. You get the picture. That thing. So the Cleveland Browns are the number 1 ranked defense in total yards, number 1 against the rush, or the number 1 against the pass, number 2 against the rush, and number 1 in scoring defense. This is by far the best defense in football through 3 weeks. They have Myles Garrett, I think, leading the league up there, and one of the guys up there in sacks. They have a great secondary, some great linebackers. They have Zadarius Smith up there alongside with Myles Garrett, and we saw Deshaun Watson get his form back. It's a home game. Amari Cooper plays better at home. We'll see what Kareem Hunt's going to do. Is he's going to get more touches this week in the offense we're expecting? Give me the Browns in a slugfest, not offensive slugfest, but a defensive slugfest, 20-17. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens are already in midseason form, and it's already week 4 with the injury bug. They're dealing with it. I don't know what's in the water over there, Luke, in Baltimore, but guys just can't stay healthy when they go over there.
Lamar's next.
But I mean, like y'all said, the Browns defense is fucking legit. Like I said last episode, and like y'all said already, the Browns defense is probably the best defense in football right now. I mean, the Browns held the Titans to 94 yards, which is the fewest yards in the games by the Titans since 1974. They locked down Derrick Henry. Also, the crazy stat here, the defense has not allowed a snap inside their 10-yard line yet through week 3. The only way to score on them is a big play. And also another crazy stat is they're allowed a staggering negative 36 rushing yards before contact, while the league is averaging a positive 94 yards. So they're hitting you in the backfield. So the run game's not going to be there for the Ravens. And Myles Garrett's going to give Lamar relentless pressure, and the coverage is going to be able to contain the passing game that Lamar's trying to make. I have the Browns winning 26-21.
And Luke, I do feel bad for the Ravens. They have to play at Pittsburgh next week, so they've already played all 3 division opponents the first 5 weeks on the road. Good news is, you play them at home towards the back end of the schedule, but tough way to start your season through 5 games, playing all 3 on the road. You did beat Cincinnati in Ohio. We'll see if you do Cleveland as well. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off that Sunday night win against the Las Vegas Raiders. They are 3-point favorites heading into the darling second overall pick, C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. We've been high on them the first 3 weeks. Doc, does Pittsburgh keep it going, or does C.J. Stroud keep it going?
Give me a sec. I just got thrown through a loop there. We were in order until that game.
Sorry, I had already had mine written down before Chris texted us this morning. It was already written on
No, you're
paper.
good, man. You're good. No, I mean, CJ Stroud, I think that he can definitely keep it going. This Pittsburgh defense has not been what everybody was expecting it to be coming into this season. Everybody was high on Pittsburgh and thinking that, the complete team was finally coming together. They got the greatest wide receiver in the game in George Pickens.
Most talented,
excuse me, in George Pickens.
Pittsburgh does lead the league in sacks, though, Doc, on defense. Just throwing that out there.
TJ
and coupled with a tough offensive line by Houston, Stroud has definitely gotten hit. He's definitely had the pressure on him, but he's been a enjoyment to watch so far this season. That Pittsburgh offense has struggled mightily. We've talked before about the fat Eddie Lacy coming out there, but I don't know. I think defensively, Houston has been playing much better. This might be an opportunity for Pierce to get going offensively against a very weak run defense that's given up a lot of yards so far for Pittsburgh. So I like Houston in this one, playing at home. I've gone against Houston the last couple weeks. I actually think I took them last week for that upset against
you did on the show, but not on the app. You did it on the show.
Yeah, for the Jags. And they absolutely shit on the Jaguars last week. So I'm going to keep it rolling with Houston. I'm going to keep the good times going. I'm going to take Houston at home. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I'm going to go 24-21.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it rolling with the Texans as well. So I think Texans, they're showing that they are a better team than everybody thought they were. CJ Stroud is playing pretty good for a rookie quarterback. He's the top rookie quarterback right now. He's able to make smart decisions with the ball. He's not forcing the ball. I think hopefully Pierce can get the run game going in this game. He showed a little more flashes last week, but they were putting a beating on the Jags. Steelers offense, it's not there. I don't really trust Pickett that much right now. The receivers for the Steelers, Pickens, he's there and then he's not. And, yeah. He makes crazy catches, but he drops easy catches. So he's one of those receivers. So I'm going Texans at home, 22-17.
20, 2-2 or 2-0? Sorry.
2-2. 2-2s.
Gotcha.
Double twos.
Two that well, yep. So I'm disagreeing with you boys. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to give CJ Stroud his toughest match of the year. Not saying they're not going to compete. I think that CJ Stroud is very talented. Like I said, I think he should be the number one quarterback coming into the draft, but he wasn't. I think the Texans look a lot better with Nico Collins and Tank Dell. I'm not sold on Dameon Pierce. I haven't been sold on him. Wasn't a fan of him coming into the year. The second half showed he was not as good as people thought he was, just a big first half. The Steelers defense, yes, they have been giving up a lot of yards, a lot of points. That's not something we're used to for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, but they are getting to the QB. Like I told Doc, they lead the league in sacks. Expect TJ Watt, expect Alex Highsmith, probably two of the best pass rushing duos in the NFL, to come at CJ Stroud in this offensive line. I think it's going to be an ugly game. There might not be a lot of offense. Pickett did look a lot better last week against the Raiders, but give me the Steelers 24-17. Go Steelers, go.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's coming off his first touchdown pass game, while CJ Stroud did it in his second and third career start. I think it's going to be a gritty duel between two young passers. I'm leaning towards favoring TJ Watt, and Alex Highsmith is going to be more effective than Will Anderson. I have the Steelers winning 23-16, but Paige is with y'all with the Texans. She's rolling with the Texans again.
She knows what winning feels like.
Texas girl, dude.
I guess
she's a Texas girl now.
She is.
But living out there in Texas too much, that's what it is. But something's got to give, boys, with this next game. We already have the 0-2 Bears and the 0-2 Broncos. The other two 0-2 teams are going to be facing each other. The 0-2 Minnesota Vikings, 3.5-point favorites, traveling to Charlotte to face the 0-2 Carolina Panthers. It sure seems like Andy Dalton will be the starting quarterback once again. Where do you lead us off here, Doc?
Yeah, this is going to be my final test for Minnesota. They have absolutely disappointed me every week of the year so far, starting on 0-3. I had them picked for division winners. The passing game, we all know Kirk Cousins is going to do Kirk Cousins things. He's going to throw the ball 50 times in the game. He's going to get over 300 passing yards. Justin Jefferson's going to get 150 yards without any touchdowns. All touchdowns are going to go to KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison. But honestly, the biggest disappointment with Minnesota this year has been that run game. Madison came out last week. I believe Madison had a better game last week with like 90-something rushing yards. So he kind of showed, a little bit what he can do. Not sure if Cam is going to be playing in this one. I know he's still probably getting the playbook down and everything. So that's going to, we're waiting to get the word on that, at least, unless you guys have heard something. But
you said Cam, Bryce?
No, Akers.
No,
Oh,
Akers.
Cam Akers.
He's talking about Cam
okay.
Akers.
Sorry, forgot he's there.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about it in the game last week. From what I was only watching clips through Red Zone and a little bit of flipping with the Minnesota game, but I didn't really hear much about it. But defensively, Minnesota I think has played well defensively, except for the pass defense could use some improvement. But overall, neither defense playing, more gooder. So I think I'm going to take Minnesota on. This is going to be my final test. Like I said, if they don't win this game, I might throw them in with the Bears. I might do a 1-16 split for the two of them. They each get 1-1 against each other. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm going to take Minnesota is going to cover the spread. I'm going to say 31-20.
Yeah, I got Minnesota covering too. I think Minnesota's more of a put-together team. Kirk Cousins, like Doc said, he's going to do Kirk Cousins things. He's going to pass the ball probably 50-plus times this game, mostly targeting Justin Jefferson, which is great for my fantasy team. Justin Jefferson probably gets another touchdown this game. Hopefully he gets two.
Probably not.
Fingers crossed.
He got one last week.
He did
Give it
get one
Addison.
last week.
But he gets at least 150 yards receiving again and probably 10-plus catches. So I'm going to go Vikings 28, Panthers 17.
And another revenge, guys, game for the receiver, Adam Thielen, making his first career start against his former longtime team, the Minnesota Vikings. So does Adam Thielen have a big game? That's something to keep on. That's definitely going to be the storyline if you're watching the game. Is Adam Thielen versus the Vikings?
If Dalton's playing, he might.
Dalton looks like he's going to be the
good last
starter.
week.
Yeah, it looks like Dalton should
Dalton
be the
looked
starter.
good last week.
But I do think, like you guys said, Minnesota's more complete. I'm not a fan of the run game, Matt. Like you said, Madison's not looking like the guy. He's had some fumbles. He doesn't look confident as the number one. Riz even said he wasn't even a good number two. Just had one decent little season. I think Kirk Cousins is better than Andy Dalton or Bryce Young, whoever's out there. They have a better offense. They have a little bit better defense, in my opinion. I'm going to go Vikings 31-24. And like you said, Doc, this is the last chance for me with these fucking Vikings. So go Skull, go.
Yeah, the Vikings have a bad habit this year, and that's losing one possession games. Last year going 11-0, and now they're 0-3. So they did a complete 180. I think Kirk Cousins is going to rip into another struggling defense with all the weapons he has. If it's fucking Andy Dalton out there or Bryce Young, they don't have the firepower to keep up with the Vikings. Vikings are getting their first win 30-20.
Moving on to the Los Angeles Rams. They had that very impressive week one win. They've struggled the last two games. No offense last night against the Cincinnati Bengals. They are traveling to the Indianapolis Colts. It looks like Anthony Richardson, according to Shane Steichen on the Pat McAfee show today, he said that Anthony Richardson is looking a lot better. He looks a lot more advanced in the concussion protocol, so it looks like AR will be the starter. They are 1.5-point favorites, Doc. The Colts are 1.5-point favorites at home against the Rams.
Yeah, and if Anthony Richardson's starting, definitely electric, so far this season. Looking for big things to come out of him. Matthew Stafford has been playing very well for this Rams offense, so it's difficult, especially going up against a weaker pass defense in the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of what I like is leaning towards the Rams on this one. And this may be like we have had a couple already we've talked about, might be a game time switch, as far as pick'ems goes. But I think for right now, I think I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts. What was the spread? 1.5?
1.5.
I think I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts 22-21.
Don't cover the spread. Got it.
Rams taking the spread.
So, I think either quarterback starting for the Colts is probably going to be able to put points on the Rams defense. The Rams defense didn't look like they were able to stop the Bengals offense in this late second quarter, second half. I mean, they just Bengals just throwing to one receiver the entire game, and they just couldn't stop it. So I think either Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew can dice up the defense. I think Gardner Minshew is a better passer. Anthony Richardson, bigger run threat, and I mean, less predictable for a defense. So I'm going to go Colts 27-21.
Yeah, like you said, Luke, I don't care. Well, I mean, I'm banking this off Anthony Richardson playing. It sounds like he's going to play. I think the Colts are I think they're underrated coming into the season. I guess we weren't giving them the true confidence that they should have had. Anthony Richardson in his first 2 games and partially second game, he was looking pretty good. And I think that's where it leads to. Like you said, he's less predictable. You don't know what he's going to do. He can throw it. He can run it. He's a hell of an athlete. We've seen it already. Michael Pittman looks a lot more involved. That's a good sign for the Indianapolis Colts. The defense looks more confident out there. I'm not sure what to think about this Rams team. Yes, they have Kyron Williams and Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua, but it sizzled off a little bit last night. I'm going to go Colts 26-20 at home. Go Colts.
Yeah, I'm riding with you boys. I mean, the Colts literally they drove down the field, but they just struggled in the red zone. They're coming off a short week. The Rams 1-4 in the red zone, 1-11 for third downs. They're just atrocious offense. I don't trust them. I have the Colts 24-20.
And I'm totally fine, boys, admitting I was wrong about Anthony Richardson coming into the year as a rookie quarterback. I'm fine with saying that the Gators finally have a decent quarterback in the NFL.
He did still look like shit his senior or whatever year it was for the Gators. So
yes, senior year, I'll give that he was not the best, but he's looked a lot better coming here with NFL talent. So, and maybe that's all it was. But
Yeah, no, I'm not on that train yet.
not yet. I'm not saying he's gonna be great. I'm just saying I've been wrong so far. That's where I'm gonna leave
so
that
far.
at. But
Yeah.
moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off that pretty bad loss, 14-point loss. It looked like Baker Mayfield struggled against a good defense, and he's going to be facing a good defense in the Dome. It looks like Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback as the New Orleans Saints are still 3-point favorites hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, always love me some Jameis. Personally, I think he should be the starter of this team over Derek Carr. I think we've seen enough struggles from Derek Carr already early on enough in this year. I think this is Jameis's chance to come in and show why he should be that starter. Defense or offense for the Bucs, not much by way of the run game, and even the passing game is not. Baker came out kind of strong to open up the season, and then has kind of faded off since then. Defensively, the advantage goes to the Saints, and I think this is a no-brainer. I think the Saints are coming out. They're taking this one, 3-point favorites. I'm going to take New Orleans 24-20.
Yeah, I'm going to go the exact opposite. I'm going Buccaneers in this game.
I like it.
I'm Ryan Baker until he gets that 9+ wins for me. So he's two wins on the way. I think he gets win number 3 this week. Struggled last week, but I mean, maybe the rain has something to do with it.
Defense.
Yeah, Eagles good defense. Saints have good defense too. Saints in the Dome. Never predictable what they're going to do. What's also not predictable is what Jameis is going to do. Jameis is chances are he's going to try to go out and earn this job. So he might be throwing some punts up to the Tampa Bay defense. Jameis is going to fucking throw the ball probably 50 times this game and maybe complete half of them.
This is when Kamara's back, right? Or is that next game?
AK is back.
No,
Yes.
it's this.
AK is back. That could
Yeah.
be a huge game changer too. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah. I don't think that's a huge game changer. AK's a bitch for what he did. Beating up, fucking jumping some guy.
Didn't y'all have that one
And
like
where
running
do you
back
stand with
beat
where do you
some
stand
girl
with Ray
in the
Rice?
elevator?
Huh?
Yeah.
Where do you stand with Ray Rice?
What did the Ravens do with Ray Rice? They cut him.
They did cut him.
They did cut him.
All right.
So fair enough.
I mean, beating a girl and dragging her by her hair out of an
Yeah,
elevator is a
fucking-
lot worse.
A little
than-
bit different. Yeah, a little bit different.
A lot
Alright.
worse.
Hey, Luke, just break the film. Break the game.
Jump
Break
some
the
dudes
game
on some
film.
bitch move. I know.
Game film
Chris
talk,
talked about a lot of
not-
bitch moves in the
not
offseason.
Not police film talk. We're talking game film talk.
Oh, well, Kamara's got some
Bring up
police
the
film
replay.
talk. He's
Bring
got
up the
some.
replays side by side.
Curb stomp that guy. So Bishop moved back tomorrow, so I think he plays terrible. So I got Buccaneers 24-21 winning on the road over the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints are number 9 in the total defense. They're number 8 in pass defense. They're number 6 in scoring defense. This defense is loaded. And we forget, Marshawn Lattimore lives rent-free in Mike Evans' head. And I know Chris is going to nail it when he talks about it, but Marshawn Lattimore owns Mike Evans. Historically, last year, Mike Evans had a good game against him before he threw a cheap shot on him, too. People forget that as well. So he's a bitch, too, Luke. Just throwing that out there. He threw a cheap shot on Lattimore. So I'm going to go.
Jump somebody.
No, he pretty much jumped them from behind. It was behind the shot, but
he did.
I'm going to go Saints 23-20. I think this defense is going to eat at Baker. They are going to score. They're going to settle for some field goals, probably towards the red zone. I do think it's going to be an ugly fight. When I say ugly, it's going to be probably some, not brawls, but it's going to be a lot of skirmishes being broken by the refs. Give me the Saints. Game-winning field goal, 23-20.
Yeah, I mean, the big key factor here is the AK's coming back. That's going to change the offense completely. We haven't had the run game. Winston finally gets a full practice. You could see him when he went out there. He wasn't really in sync with the wide receivers. And like you said, Mark, Lattimore literally lives rent-free in Mike Evans' head. He locks him down. We're getting a Debo back on the other side, so Baker's not going to be able to pick that rookie apart. And Alontae Taylor balled out last week, so I have the defense winning this game. I think Baker struggles again. He struggled going against a good defense last week. I have the Saints winning 2017. But unfortunately, my loving wife has Tampa. I'm going to have to talk to her.
She hates you. And
Baker fan.
She closed her eyes and just...
She does love Baker. She does love a Baker.
But Luke,
he
coming
Cleveland
into...
Brown.
And just coming in there real quick, Luke, I know you were high on this defense coming into the year. The Bucs. They're 22nd overall in the yards, and they are doing pretty good on the scoring defense, but they're still below Atlanta and New Orleans. So they're third in the division when it comes about defense. So,
and we'll have to see how the injuries roll out. They did lose Dean, so
big injuries in the secondary. But moving on to a NFC East division rival, the Washington Commanders, coming off an ugly beatdown against the Buffalo Bills, are traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are 8-point favorites. Doc, you know how it is out there. It's Philly territory. Commanders are going into Philly. What you got?
Yeah, that beatdown by Buffalo. I mean, I don't even want to say that the defense just kind of faded this game, because honestly they gave up a lot of points against Denver as well, giving up almost 350 yards a game. Eagles, not much better defensively, but the offense is going to be where the big difference at. Sam Howell had a lot of problems last week. This one is a no-brainer for me. I mean, the spread's 8. This is an easy one. Eagles, I'm going to take 31-17.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as high on the Eagles offense going against this good Commanders defense. So I think this is a potential sleeper game for the Eagles. I think they could lose this game pretty easily. Commanders offense, they could bounce back and play well, but I still think the Eagles pull this game off. I'm going to go 24-17.
Yeah, I'm with you, boys. I think
sleeper game.
Well, Luke, I'm with you. I think it could be an upset game. We saw the Commanders beat them last year on Monday Night Football, but I believe it was in Landover, Maryland when they did it. I think that the Commanders' defense is going to play a lot more inspired this week, unlike they did last week against the Bills. Not saying they are going to control Jalen Hurts, but I think that they play a lot better against him. They have one of the best defensive fronts in the NFL. Like you said, not impressed with this offense, but I expect a decent game from A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I do have the Eagles winning 24-20, but the Commanders cover the spread.
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders, they failed me. I thought last week was going to be a close game, but I mean, the Commanders were clearly a fraud 2-0 team with wins over the Broncos and Cardinals. Commanders got a rude awakening with the Bills last week. The O-line is crumbling. The Eagles defense is just going to fucking preach on that. And Commander secondary has a lot of holes that Jalen Hurts is going to exploit. I have the Eagles 27-14.
Moving on to, I think this is a sleeper game as well, is the Cincinnati Bengals, 2.5-point favorites come into Tennessee, out in Nashville. Joe Burrow looked a little better last week with Jamar Chase. Still wasn't a big fan of him. Joe Mixon got more involved. But where are you leading us off here, Doc, with?
Yeah, another one of my bigger disappointments of the year. 1 for 3 so far in picking the Bengals this year. So let's go ahead and make it 1 for 4. I'm going to take Cincy. Offense is starting to come to life. Defense still gotta get some things together. The rush defense has been absolutely terrible for this team, but the pass defense has been good. And as long as the Titans continue to follow their proven game plan of not giving the ball to Derrick Henry, to attribute to another 27-3 loss, I think Cincy stands a pretty good chance. So I'll take Cincy on this one on the road. Give me 24-17.
Yeah, I don't know about this game. Bengals on the road. I really don't have too much faith on them in the road in Nashville, so potentially I might go see the game. Tickets are pretty cheap for this game, so possibility. But the Titans have been like hot and cold. Like they had one hot week and they've been pretty cold. Other than that, but I think they're competitive. Bengals offense is not doing it for me. I think I'm going to take the Titans in a close one here. I don't think Joe Burrow and the offense are back on track, especially at a noon kickoff game. So I'm going to go Titans 24-20.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous with this game too, Luke, but I do have the Bengals actually prevailing, winning this game. I think it's going to be a pretty low scoring game. I do think that they're going to try and get Derrick Henry the ball more and more this game. Note real quick, if they don't start winning, I think you trade Derrick Henry, get some pieces out of him while he's still worth it, give him to a team that needs a running back that's in a playoff position. But I do think that the Bengals are going to have a little bit better offense, a little more Jamar Chase. I expect T. Higgins to have a bounce-back game after the drops he had. So I have the Bengals, though, winning a low-scoring game, 20-16, only winning by 4. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, Joe looked a little better last night. The rhythm for the offense looked like it was kind of starting to click with him and Jamar Chase. The supporting cast needs to do a little bit better. Like you said, Mark, T. Higgins had some drops that could have extended plays. I think the Bengals are going to be able to contain the rushing attack. The defense started clicking in the second half of the game. I have the Bengals winning 24-14.
Moving on to the AFC West division rivalry, long-time rivalry here. The Las Vegas Raiders, questionable if Jimmy G plays. I think he's being evaluated for a concussion. They are on the road, 5.5 point favorites. 5.5 point underdogs to Los Angeles Chargers. Mike Williams is out for the year, tore his ACL. So now it's Keenan Allen, Joshua Palmer, and the rookie Quentin Johnston. Doc, lead us off.
Yeah, offense been looking real good so far out here in Charger territory. So much wrong with the Raiders offensively. Herbert's looking great. This one, again, another no-brainer for me. Give me the Chargers. I'm going to take them 28. Actually, I'm going to take the Chargers. Yeah, let's go 31-17.
Yeah, I'm with you, Doc. I'm taking the Chargers on a statement game. I think they just blow the Raiders out this week. I think it's kind of prove it week that they don't have to play close games every week. So hopefully they can pull one off and actually beat a team by more than one possession. So I'm going to go Chargers 34-13.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a big game from the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert's one of the only 4 quarterbacks that has not thrown an interception yet, so he's definitely having a good hot streak at the moment. Austin Eckler could be back. It's still questionable what's going on. I don't think they actually need him for this game. Keenan Allen was hot last week. I think he stays hot. I expect Palmer to get more involved as he was decent last year when both receivers were hurt. And now we'll see the TCU stud out there, Quentin Johnston, Gerald Everett, Farm will be out there as well. So give me Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers, 34-24. Go Bolts.
Yeah, I don't see Austin Eckler coming back just yet. They don't need him for this game. I'm pretty sure that the Chargers have a bye week next week, so I can only assume that they're going to hold him out until after the bye week. I think Justin Herbert's going to have a massive fucking game with Keenan Allen going against the Raiders defense. Jimmy G's probably going to be out, but if you're a Josh Jacobs fantasy owner, hey, this is your week that you're going to cash in. I think he's going to have a huge game. but I have the Chargers winning 27-24, so I have the Raiders on the spread.
Moving on, I think this is a game after last week, what we saw, it can go either way. I'm not a fan of the spread, but the New England Patriots, revenge game too. Zeke Elliott traveling back to Dallas as the Patriots go to the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are 7-point favorites coming off a 12-point loss to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are coming into this one angry. This defense is not happy with what happened last week. Dak Prescott is not happy with what happened last week. I think Dallas is coming out with a chip on their shoulder. I think that this is going to be, a prove-it game for them. Dak's got to come out and show that he can put this team on his back and carry him. So I think the defense will hold up just fine against Mac Jones and the run game. Zeke, I don't really think is going to have much to do in this one, even though, it is going against his former team. Zeke's kind of just become irrelevant across the board. But give me Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas 28-20.
Yeah, this one's going to be a coin flip for me because I know Belichick's going to scheme up some defense for the Cowboys offense. So what he does best is take away the best weapons, and they don't have a lot of good weapons if Dak can't throw the ball. So they're going to take away Pollard, force Dak to try to throw the ball. And I think the only touchdown the Cowboys score is on their defense. I think their defense scores a touchdown, and I think they win. I think the Cowboys win 13-10.
Jeez.
Man, defense.
God,
No, I mean,
damn.
I have a defensive
No
game
score.
too, Luke. A little higher score than that, but it's going to be a defensive game. Belichick saw what Arizona did. It's going to work in his favor. He's going to limit that run, force Dak, like Doc said, to beat them through the air. I think the defense comes back hungry for the Patriots. For the Cowboys. I expect Zeke to have a decent game this game. I honestly do. Expect him to get around 75, 80 yards, maybe a rushing touchdown as well. They'll probably force feed him at the goal line if they get to that situation. But the defense is better. I don't think the Cowboys cover the spread, though. I think it'll be 23-17, closer game. If the Patriots had an offense that I trusted, they would win this game.
Well, boys, I'm the outlier here. This is my upset game of the week. I think Belichick's going to devise a plan defensively to hold the Cowboys. I mean, look what he did to the Dolphins week 2, held the Dolphins to 24 points. So, I mean, he knows what he's doing. I think Belichick's going to outcoach McCarthy. And you hear first, Zeke's getting 2 fucking touchdowns this game. Zeke is going to eat, and Belichick's going to let him. Out of the Patriots, 23-20. I don't think Dak can offensively do anything for this team.
And the last time these two teams played each other, it went to overtime in 2021. So Belichick does play the Cowboys pretty tough. Cowboys are good that year too, so expect a good game. Chris, I wouldn't be surprised if they do pull it off, like you said. Moving on to the last.
Dak got fucking outplayed by Joshua Dobbs that got traded to the Cardinals August 24th. So less than a month ago.
One of the only guys, too, not to have an interception as a main starting quarterback so far this year, too, is Joshua Dobbs. So, but moving on to the last Sunday afternoon game, the Arizona Cardinals coming off that impressive win against the Dallas Cowboys, did fold the first 2 games. They were in those games, but traveling to the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are 14-point favorites, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, everything about this 49er team has been so much fun to watch. Offensively, CMC has been going off. Brock Purdy's been doing pretty good. Defensively, again, one of the top defenses right now, numbers wise, holding opponents to 53 yards a game rushing, which has been the strong suit for Arizona. Joshua Dobbs played very well last week, but out of the almost 340 yards offensively that Arizona is getting, 156 is coming off the ground. So if the Niners can show how to shut down and force Dobbs to go through the air, we're going to see what he can really do against a tough defense. But this one isn't even close. San Francisco has put up 30 in every game so far this season, so this is the one that I think they finally get above that 30-point ceiling that they have been capped at. I'm going to take San Francisco at 35 to Arizona 17.
Yeah, me and Doc are thinking a lot alike on this one. I am also taking the 49ers. Big win over the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to put up a little bit of a fight, but they're going to be no match for the 49er defense. I'm going 34, 34-17.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be close early. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be close early, and they're going to pull away. I think once that offense starts to get rolling, and once it starts to get away from him, that's when it's really going to fall apart.
Big Doc Brock's going to do what he does best and pick apart defenses. Play safe.
One of the other quarterbacks has not thrown an interception this year, but no, it'll be close early at the kickoff, and then once kickoff happens and the 49ers score the first touchdown, they're not looking back. For sake of time, it's going to be they're going to cover the spread. I mean, it's a high spread, but I have them winning 38-23.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more out of Purdy. He looked like he didn't struggle, but he was overthrowing receivers. He looked like he was that rookie quarterback. I mean, I know he played 5 games last year, but he looked like he was struggling early. Josh Dobbs isn't going to be able to dodge darts like he did with Parsons. Nick Bosa is going to eat. I have 49ers 31-14.
And moving on to a game that was potentially going to be the game of the year on Sunday Night Football. Unfortunately, MetLife Stadium and a torn Achilles robbed us from this moment, but we have Patrick Mahomes, 9.5-point favorites. No Taylor Swift will probably be in attendance for this game, but it will be Patrick Mahomes' first game also at MetLife Stadium in his career, traveling to face the Zach Wilson New York Jets. Remember, Doc, 9.5-point favorites for the Chiefs.
9.5-point favorites for the Chiefs, and I am going to take that by a landslide. There is no way in hell you are telling me that Zach Wilson, under any circumstance, is beating Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs unless Patrick Mahomes is on his deathbed. Sake of time. Yeah, there isn't much talk about here. Almost 400 yards of offense, 250. Defensively, obviously a huge mismatch as well. Give me the Chiefs. I'm going to go 37-15.
Yeah, not too much to talk about this game. I got Chiefs 28-10. I think Sauce Gardner does get a pick off of Mahomes in this game. But
sake of time, like you said.
Well, Zach Wilson won't get anything off the pick, though.
Sake of time, I think it's a little closer just because the Jets defense is pretty good, but I have them covering. It's going to be 24-13 Chiefs.
Yeah, I have Chiefs 34-13. The Chiefs defense is clicking, and I mean, that's scary. Thinking about what the Chiefs can do with a great defense and a great offense, and then not a good look when your third string running back is arguing with your coach on the sideline with the Jets. So there's a lot of tension out there on that Jets team.
Yeah, moving on to the Monday Night Football game. Finally back to one game this week as the Seattle Seahawks are the underdogs. Surprisingly, they are coming off a 2-game winning streak, and they are facing the New York Giants, who just lost to the 49ers last Thursday night. But the Giants are 1.5-point favorites. Saquon Barkley still questionable.
Yeah, Barkley's still questionable. Not really sure how Seattle is the underdog. I mean, when the Giants are playing the way they are offensively, I'm going to be honest, Barkley can't even help this team right now. The question mark, I guess, would be just the Seattle pass defense. It's been rough to see, but yeah, go ahead and sound the upset alert for me then if the Giants are the favorites. I'm going to take the Seahawks. I'm hoping this is going to be a Geno Smith breakout game. Not that he's been playing terribly all year, but I guess I'll call this my upset of the week. By the way, very glad to see only one Monday night game this week.
Yes.
But give me the Seahawks. I'm going to take them 23-17.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I got Seahawks 24-17. Not very exciting Monday night game, I don't think. I mean,
it's going to be a joke.
What's the score, Luke? I'm sorry.
24-17. Actually, I'll go 24-19. A little bit closer game, but not too exciting Monday night game. I think this will be turned off my TV pretty early just because it's nothing too entertaining.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go Seahawks as well. The only tidbit I have for this is the last time that we saw both New York teams host a Sunday night and a Monday night game, it was flip-flopped. It was the Giants on Sunday night, the Jets on Monday night, but it's flip-flopped. The starting quarterback for the New York team towards Achilles. Prayers for you, Daniel Jones. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. I'm going to go Seahawks 27-21. Closer game. I think the Giants keep it a little close.
Danny Dimes a fucking joke.
He has. This is my coin flip game of the week. I think this game could literally go any way, but I do have the Seahawks 27-24 as of right now.
Boys, I think some good games out there. Like I said, Bills, Dolphins, and probably Browns, Ravens are probably my 2 top games I'm looking forward to the most. Hopefully, good luck to all your guys' teams too. Hopefully, the Bears get on the win train. Hopefully,
Don't
the
put
three of
that
us get back
fucking juju on me. I want the number 1 pick at this point.
Right now, you guys are the number 1
4.
pick. You're the number 1 and 4th overall pick at the moment through 3 weeks. So, looking like good things for you.
Looking for 1 and 2.
Yeah, Chris, good luck to the Saints. Luke, good luck to those Ravens too.
Thank you, Mark. Good luck to those
Thanks.
Falcons over there
Good
in
luck,
London
Falcons, man,
territory.
even though I didn't pick them.
Yeah, you have to wake up real early, Mark, to watch them.
The words of the famous words of Wade Rule. Hope the Falcons dump the fucking tea in the fucking harbor. Obviously, there's no harbor there, but dump the fucking tea out there. And bring the beer. I know Arthur Smith loves to drink with the boys. So, Falcons
Drink some
not
twisted
picking
tea.
them. No, Long Island's if we're gonna do anything. But hey, great episode, boys. We can't wait till tomorrow. We talk college. We have a lot to hammer out with the NCAA. But I'm Mark Davis. That's Chris Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Nick the Doc Skirkwins. This is All About the Balls podcast, and we are out. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Sack House.